going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Let's start with some baseball scores from yesterday. The Yankees beat Oakland 11-3. We had Detroit beating Cleveland 5-0. Texas Rangers over the Mariners 4-3. Nationals beat San Francisco Giants 11-6. Houston Astros beat the Angels 5-4. Mets pick up a win over the Reds 2-1. Royals over the White Sox 9-1. Cubs over the Cardinals 10-4. Cardinals continue to struggle. They are in last place in National League Central. Rockets beat the Pirates 4-3. Pirates coming back down to earth after a hot start. Dodgers beat the Brewers 8-1. Marlins beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-4. Phillies beat the Blue Jays 2-1. Orioles beat the Rays 2-1. Red Sox beat the Braves 5-2, and Twins beat the Padres 4-3. Talk about some hockey playoffs. Toronto avoids a sweep. They beat Florida 2-1. Goal and assist from Mitch Marner. William Nylander had the other goal for Toronto. Joseph Woll made 24 saves. Toronto goalie Eli Samsonov got hurt in Game 3. But Joseph Woll made his first career playoff start. And he played pretty well. Had 24 saves. They played very well in front of him. Blocked a lot of shots. Only got 25 shots on goal. But Toronto avoids a sweep. As Florida now leads 3-1. So like Florida probably closes it out pretty soon, but Toronto hanging around for now. Edmonton beats the Golden Knights of Vegas 4-1. They evened up that series at 2 games apiece. Evan Bouchard had a goal. They used to have a goal, 2 assists from Connor McDavid. That series is even at 2 games apiece. There was the Ted Lindsay finalists were announced for the NHL. Ted Lindsay is the best player according to the NHL Player Association. So all the players vote on who they think was the best player in the league this year. The finalists are Erik Karlsson, the defenseman from the San Jose Sharks, who will most likely win the Norris Trophy for best defenseman. He had over 100 points. First defenseman in the NHL to have 100 points since, I believe, Brian Leetch. That might have been the other Rangers won the Cup in 1994. It's been forever. And then it's Connor McDavid, who should win the MVP, the Hart Trophy, have over 60 goals and over 150 points. And David Pastrnak, who has 60 goals this year, would probably be the MVP if McDavid didn't have the year he had. Philadelphia Flyers have finalized the front office. They have named Daniel Briere, who's next player, their full-time GM. He was the interim general manager. Actually fired Chuck Fletcher during the season. They have promoted him to the full-time GM, and they have hired Keith Jones as their president of hockey operations. Daniel Briere, he both were ex-players. Daniel Briere, he played for, I think, 17 years in the NHL. 6 of those coming with the Philadelphia Flyers. At one point, I think he was a GM for an ECHL team, which is an overseas league. Then he became a special assistant to the GM, which is Chuck Fletcher, who was the GM and the president. When they fired Fletcher during the season, thank God, he was horrible. Guy who said he used an app to help him make trades. Guy did not know what he was doing. They named Daniel Briere the interim GM. Wasn't much for him to do. It was already past the trade deadline. Flyers are kind of already out of the race. But Daniel Briere is now the full-time general manager, and they've hired Keith Jones as the president of hockey operations. Keith Jones was also an ex-player. He played for the Flyers for a couple of years as well. He has broadcasted a lot of Flyers games. He's an announcer for the Flyers, and then he has been part of TNT's coverage when it comes to NHL for the last 2 years. He's a very good analyst and was a very good player, but does not have any experience when it comes to being in a front office in the NHL. Daniel Briere really doesn't either. But outside of being the interim GM for the end of last season, that's as much as his experience goes. So very inexperienced front office in Philly. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. These two are both really good hockey minds, and they'll help turn the Flyers around. Flyers have had a lot of trouble winning games the last several seasons. I think any sort of building a consistent winner has been tough in Philly lately. Or they could both be knuckleheads, and they could both have a job in 3 years, and the Flyers will be even worse, in a worse place than they are now, which is pretty bad. So big rest of the Flyers taking. We will see what happens. On to basketball. We had some more playoff games last night. New York Knicks beat the Miami Heat 112-103, so they stay alive in that series. Miami still leads 3-2. Jalen Brunson, big game, 38 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Another phenomenal game from Brunson. He played all 48 minutes, never came out of the game. Knicks survive another day. Golden State Warriors beat the Los Angeles Lakers 121-106. Stephen Curry had 27 points and 8 assists. LeBron 25 and 9 in the loss. Anthony Davis came out of the game. He got elbowed in the head by Kevon Looney on accident, and he left the game. That was kind of later in the game. I think it was like a little bit later, late in the third quarter. Did not return to the game. He was in a wheelchair after the game. They said he may have had a concussion. It looks like he may have avoided the concussion, and it looks like he's going to play tonight. That being said, if this is a concussion, it could be tricky. Concussions, you could wake up one day and feel fine, and then within a few hours, you could be getting dizzy and seeing stars, and you can't play. Like, obviously, last night he was in a wheelchair after the game, which is concerning. But apparently, earlier today we said that it looks like he avoided the concussion and he should play, which is a good sign. We never know, he could go out there and look to get himself warmed up for the game a couple hours before the game, before Game 6, which is probably going to be tomorrow, and he could not feel well and have to sit out. If he goes into the concussion protocol, he will not be able to play Game 6 because of the rules. Like, you got to go through certain steps of the concussion protocol. He would not be able to clear the protocol in time to play Game 6. So that's big. Lakers still be 3-2. Game 6 shifts back to LA at the Crypto.com Arena. And, it'll be crazy if Stephen Curry and the Warriors can flip the script on LeBron, of course. LeBron, when he was in Cleveland, of course, came back down 3-1 in the 2016 finals against Steph and the Warriors. And if Steph and the Warriors could do the same against LeBron, now LeBron, of course, is in LA, that would be a big full circle moment. And that would be crazy. The Warriors win that one. They stay alive. They force Game 6. The All-NBA teams were announced last night. The first team was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and Giannis. The second All-NBA team was Stephen Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jokic, and Jaylen Brown. Third All-NBA team was Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, LeBron James, Julius Randle, and Domantas Sabonis. I don't have too many words about it. I think that's a solid All-NBA team. I know Donovan Mitchell thought he should have been on the first team. I thought Shai deserved to be on the first team. He was phenomenal this year for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Spida may have had an argument to be in over Luka. You could argue this was Spida's best year yet. Part of me because he had a better team around him. Obviously, this Cleveland team was much deeper than the Utah teams he was on. But he had a phenomenal year. He was an all-star starter. Overall, I thought he was good in the Knicks series. He was phenomenal in Game 1. I think he had 38 that game. He was really good in Game 2. He was decent in Game 3. He showed in Game 4. Was not good that game. Was okay in Game 5. He didn't exactly get a lot of help either in Game 3 through 5. Karis LeVert was terrible. Darius Garland was very inconsistent. He struggled. Jared Allen struggled. Even Evan Mobley struggled. When he got a little bit of help in the first 2 games, he was phenomenal. So he tweeted out he thought he should be on the first team. It is what it is. But overall, I thought these were pretty good. There were a few guys that did not make it that kind of got screwed because of money-wise. John Morant, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and Jamal Murray did not make the All-NBA team. If they had made an All-NBA team, they would have made an extra $39 million, and they would have been eligible for a Supermax extension. But since they did not make the All-NBA team, they are not eligible for that. So that's tough. I think Ja had the argument. Look at the guards on the second and third teams. On the second team was Steph and Spida Mitchell. Third was Dame and De'Aaron Fox. Obviously, Ja missed a bunch of time with the whole thing. He got suspended and now the whole incident. I think that definitely had something to do with it. Brian Windhorst is a very popular NBA analyst for SBN. He was on Get Up this morning saying he definitely had a lot to do with it, and I totally agree with him. It's hard to argue that it did not have anything to do with it. I don't have a too much from him being left off. Damian Lillard missed some time with injuries, so they're right. They both missed time. Dame was for an injury. Ja was because of obviously he was not injured, but he had an off the court issue. In which Dame just he had a lot more. I would rather have a guy miss time because he was injured than what Ja did. But you look at how many games each missed. And I don't think he should have been Ja should have been over De'Aaron Fox, who was balling all season. Never really missed any games. Ja, who pretty much bowled all year, but he also missed. Probably with that incident, he probably missed a solid 10, 15 games. He missed he missed a couple of weeks of action. He missed like 10 games or something like that. I mean, you can make with LeBron, he's LeBron. To say shout out to Julius Randle, who has not been good this postseason, but I did think deserved to be on it when it comes to the regular season. And by the way, we're going to welcome on a guest, Zach Cantrell, who hosts the show. Zach, how's it going?
Jake, I hear you just talking a little bit about the all NBA teams. I know we got the Jets schedule and the NFL schedule coming out. There's a lot to get into.
There really is. Yeah, I'm gonna do that next. Let me ask you, Zach. Did you have any work with the all NBA teams?
I think Anthony Davis should have made one of the all NBA teams. I think what he's done on the defensive end, especially this year, I think has him being Embiid over Jokic. I think I would have figured out a way to put both of them on because we've seen NBA teams in the past. They don't really care about position. They just put who are the best players. And tell me Jokic isn't one of the 5 best players in the NBA this year. You and I both know that.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, they gotta clarify that. Does it? I don't really think it should go. Obviously, you should have 2 guards, I think, and 3 front court guys. You just said it. Nikola Jokic was absolutely one of the 5 best players in the NBA this year. It's not even a discussion. I love Jason Tatum. I love Giannis. I love Joel Embiid. But let's focus more on Giannis. Is Giannis the best player in the league? That's a very fair argument. But was he better than Jokic this year? I don't know. I mean, Jokic finished ahead of them in the MVP race for a reason. I think you got to have Jokic on that, at least over Tatum.
Yeah, Tatum should not have been. Jokic should have been on the team. He should have been, but LeBron's still LeBron. He's still one of the best players in the league, obviously. But I think Anthony Davis should have made the team. I think Jokic should have been the first team. Outside of that, I don't really have a whole lot of arguments. Yeah, with AD, obviously the games hurt him. If he did not miss the games, he totally would have been on it. It wouldn't have even been a conversation. You think, all right, the guys on the 3rd team in the Fooker was LeBron James, of course, Julius Randle, and Sabonis. I mean, as a Knicks fan, obviously, I love Randle. Well, when he's not, going 2 for 15 from the field, that is. I mean, based on what he did in the regular season, he averaged, I think, 24. Maybe he gave you 10 boards, 8 boards. I would have to look at AD's numbers. I mean, you can make an argument he should have been over Randle and Sabonis. Randle and Sabonis, of course, played more games than AD. I would assume that's what got him. But should Luka stay first team because his team didn't even make the playoffs this year?
That's what I was just talking about. I know Donovan Mitchell tweeted out, "F out of here," he thought he should be on the first team. I think he has a case to be over Luka, to be honest.
Yeah, and the fact that Devin Booker didn't make any of the teams, we've seen what Devin Booker's done in the playoffs. And there's this whole rewritten narrative. I think it was Stephen A. or First Take, I think it was. I was like, Devin Booker's finally emerged some season superstar. Devin Booker had back-to-back 3-point games in the 2020 NBA Finals. This isn't exactly new, but Devin Booker's actually showing up in the postseason time. And we're seeing more and more national media outlets because they're showing that they don't watch the games.
Yeah.
Definitely, I definitely agree. Devin Booker's been a star for probably 3 or 4 years at this point. He was phenomenal in the playoffs last year. Maybe didn't show up in Game 7, but that whole team didn't show up. Chris Paul didn't show up. Ayton didn't show up. None of those guys showed up. You can't put it all on Devin Booker. What he's done in the playoffs this year is just amazing. The numbers. I saw a stat. I think he's averaging like 37 points a game. It's over this whole postseason. Like that. That's not even human. Yeah, let's get into some football. So we got games leaking. They're releasing the full schedule tonight. It feels like we know half the games already. It's 2023. The word gets around. We got Jets Bills Monday Night Football Week 1. That should be a fun one. Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen. Of course, a divisional game. Lions Chiefs opening the season. I mean, Lions look on paper like they could win that division. It's also the Lions. I feel like I would have had them play. I would have had them play maybe the Bengals, the Bills, or maybe division.
This year, they have the Eagles, they have the Bills, they have the Bengals, and they have the Chargers. All four of those teams would have been a better choice than the Lions. Like I've been saying this consistently all offseason. I think the Lions remind me a lot of the 2018 Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield's year. They had a nice little run. They started the season a little slow, but then they rallied. I think they finished 7-1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Playing great football at the end. I think we're seeing the Detroit Lions have something similar. They started last year 1-6. They played great at the end of last year, but just don't know which version of the Lions shows up. And I'm not ready to jump totally on board with such a young team that has never had to deal with the pressure before. And the first time that the Lions are ever going to have expectations coming into the season, at least since the Stafford Calvin Johnson days, I just don't see how they're going to handle it. I think the NFC North is completely up for grabs. And I think it was just a big miss by the NFL. They could have gotten Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
Super Bowl rematch. I mean, I'm fine with the Bengals being Week 17 because you want to play off positioning and all that. But if nothing else, you could have picked the Chargers just because Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes play primetime games every year, and it seems like all of them come down to the last possession. So I thought there were 4 better options that could have gone with the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, with the Lions, I mean they're better. They had some nice pieces. In the offseason, you add Cam Sutton to the secondary. You add some pieces on defense. The draft, they didn't, they took good players. It's not really at weird positions. Gibbs obviously was not the top 12 player. I didn't think Jack Campbell was a top 18 player, but I think they'll help them. And then you move out Swift. And like you said, that division's wide open. Green Bay, we don't know what Jordan Love is. I don't think he's that good, but you never know. Maybe he is good. You don't know what they'll be. The Bears are better. You can't really get any worse, but they are better. We'll see what they do. And then you got obviously Detroit, and then you have the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, I think they'll take a step back. I'm hearing that you lose Thielen, you cut him, you cut Kendricks up at linebacker. You might be cutting Dalvin Cook. Yeah, no shot.
Wins 11 by 7 points or less. Like we see this happen every year, and it goes both ways. Where a team loses a lot of close games, and then the next year it kind of averages itself out and they win a close game. I think the Vikings are due for the opposite. They won a lot of close games. I think they're going to progress kind of back to the mean where they should have been last year, which is probably like an 8-9. That's what I see. So guys.
Yeah, and Kirk Cousins. Here's what he is. He'll get you 9-10 wins. Playoffs comes around. Won't do you much. When the lights turn on, he closes his eyes and it's too bright for him. I'm hearing Dalvin Cook is leaving. I don't really understand. I know you brought back Madison. When he stepped in for Cook, he's been very good. And I know he's not the perfect fit in that offense because they throw the ball so much and it's a fancy offense compared to when they had Zimmer as the coach. But like you said, they won so many close games. Could they win a few? Yeah, of course. But they won't win, what was it, like 10 one-score games? They're not going to do that again.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I truthfully don't have a feel for the NFC North more than any other division. The NFC South, which everybody was, is the worst division in football, which I think it probably still is. I think you can at least pinpoint a favorite in that division. And right now, I would say that's the Saints.
Yeah.
As long as everybody stays healthy. I can't look at the NFC North right now and predict anybody to be a favorite because I said I don't trust the Lions. You really think Jared Goff is going to do what he did last year, 2 years in a row? It's fine, but you lose Jamal Williams who led league in touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
You really expect him to get better. Packers, I don't know. They're not. You could see the Bears do what the Jaguars did last year with a young quarterback and go for it. Still don't know if it's going to happen, but if there's going to be any division that it happens or he goes like 9-8 first, I think happening against the North.
Yeah, like you said, that division's wide open. The only team I really see winning 10 games is probably Detroit, and we just ran through. I mean, football aside, it's the Lions. I mean, they're not exactly known for exceeding expectations and winning football games. They're really not. Yeah, look at the Bears. Obviously, they had so much cap and so many picks. They had so many guys. You had Edmonds on defense. You had a couple of offensive linemen. You had guys in the draft. You have a young guy in Justin Fields, a quarterback. I think if Fields takes the necessary step forward, and he can be a little more of a reliable passer, I don't see why the Bears cannot go 9-8.
They lost a lot. They're like the opposite of the Vikings. They lost a lot
they did.
last year. If they can improve their offensive line, which they did through the draft, I would like them to go down and get a couple more skill position guys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't see any reason why. There's always one or two random teams that make the playoffs every year.
Yeah,
sure could be the Bears.
Yeah, you look at last year. Look at a team like Seattle. We thought, they're throwing Geno Smith. Their backup's Drew Lock. Obviously you lose Russ. You cut Bobby Wagner. Whole new era thing. How long, much longer is Pete Carroll going to hang on? You thought they're going to win 6 games, and they got into the postseason. That's not. I mean, the Seattle had also been in the playoffs like 8 of the previous 10 years. Was in 2 Super Bowls, won 1, should have won a second. But that's a team that we didn't think would really be all that close to the postseason, and they got in. Could that be the Bears this year?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think the games that I'm most excited about, I'm really into that Chiefs-Jets game. I want Mahomes, Rodgers. We've never got it because Mahomes was hurt the first time, and then Rodgers got the Rona before the second meeting, so we've never actually seen those two go up against each other. And I think we're going to find out really quick just how good the Jets are. Because playing in that game in the Super Bowl hype is going to be through the roof because you beat the defending Super Bowl champs. They've got a great defense. They've got a really good running game. If Aaron Rodgers goes back to his 2020, 2021 start, the Jets can play with anybody in football. But we're going to find out very quickly because you look at their first month. They got the Bills. They've got the Cowboys, I believe, is week 2. And we've seen a couple reports about that. So it's going to be at Dallas, which, by the way, that should have been a Thanksgiving game. That's another discussion. Then Patriots and Chiefs. So Jets are certainly not easing into the Aaron Rodgers bowl. That's about as open as you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Jets, they're playing the Bills, Patriots, and Dolphins 6 times. Those 3 hypothetically could all be in the playoffs. So they were gonna have a tough schedule regardless, but that first month is pretty brutal. I'm happy the Jets are on Sunday Night Football. They have not. I saw a stat. They have not been on Sunday Night Football since 2011.
That's right.
That's crazy. It's 12 years they have not been on Sunday Night Football. That's crazy. But obviously, Aaron Rodgers, when you have a guy like that, it's gonna bring in ratings. Jets are look on paper to actually be good this year. We'll see what happens. So they're getting some more primetime games. They'll play the Chiefs. We got Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch in week 11. That'll be Monday Night Football, November 20th. So that's the week before Thanksgiving for football. You have 49ers Eagles week 13. That will be fun. You got Deebo Samuel's been coming out and saying that he basically hates the Eagles. And obviously a rematch from the conference championship last year. Does the Niners have a quarterback? That should be a fun game.
Jets Dolphins Black Friday, the first
yeah.
Which I think is going to be a glorious success because what do people want to do the Friday after Thanksgiving? They want to sit around, do nothing, eat leftover turkey, and they want to find football. And people that watch college football for years, and I mean, it's obviously been successful. It's still the NFL's king, and Jets Dolphins theoretically. If Tua's healthy, that's one of the better matchups of the season. I really am looking forward to both of those games with the Dolphins going out and getting Jalen Ramsey to prove their team the way they have. The AFC East is just bold.
Absolutely. Yeah, that might be the best division in football. You have 4 potential playoff teams. Obviously, there's things that could go wrong. If Tua gets hurt again in Miami, that'll hurt him. If Mac doesn't play well this year, that'll obviously hurt him. But that's 4 potential playoff teams in one division.
Yeah, it's the first time in 12 years that Gary Underwood had some sort of involvement with the Jets.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good games that have been announced. A few more are leaking through.
So the first Sunday night game is Cowboys Giants, which I mean, it's always seem to play on Sunday night, especially early on in the season. So no surprise there. So you're gonna have a Sunday night game at the Meadowlands, and then Monday night's gonna be at the Meadowlands. So I think that's gonna be interesting. Like it's weird that the opening game is the worst of the three primetime games in week one, and obviously we'll find out what happens as far as the 425 slots are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But that Thursday night game, like the Chiefs are going to beat the Lions by 3 touchdowns probably. Cowboys Giants, I think it's going to be really interesting. I want to see if Daniel Jones can have another solid year like he had a year ago, and obviously Bills Jets on the anniversary of 9/11. That is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that to me a great game. Circumstances aside, that's obviously you got two really good teams, two possibly 10, 11 win teams, obviously division rivals, both playing in New York. Well, both their teams are named after New York, just play in Jersey, but two New York teams playing on 9/11 will be a nice way to tribute.
And your first 3 games are Eagles, Dolphins, Jets.
For who?
That's how the Patriots start with the Eagles week 1, the Dolphins week 2. They're both at home. The Dolphins are going to be on Sunday night, and then Jets.
Yeah, I mean the AFC East, all 4 teams are going to have harder schedules because also they got to play each other 6 times a year, and then you add in the Jets got to play the Chiefs, and now you got Pats got to play the Eagles. That makes their schedules that much harder.
Yeah, the AFC East is playing the NFC East this year, so you're going to get Cowboys, you're going to get Bills, Eagles, you're going to get Jets, Eagles.
Wow.
Just throw them all. That is the 2 Eastern divisions are probably the 2 best divisions in each respective conference, and now you're going to get them all playing each other. And the worst teams that are involved with that are the Commanders and the Patriots. So that's pretty solid.
Yeah, like the Patriots could be in the playoff. The Commanders, if Sam Howell plays well, could hypothetically sneak into a wild card. Since the NFC is not as powerful as AFC, you probably got to win 10 games. NFC, you can win 9 games and probably get in. So yeah, that's going to be a lot. That brings a lot of exciting matchup. I think we have Jets Giants. We have not had that in the regular season in a while.
Yep, that's week 8.
Week 8, yeah. Me and my friends have been talking about maybe going to a couple games here, and Jets Giants that could work. So I might actually have to go to that game. But yeah, that should be exciting. The last time I remember them playing in the regular season, I might be in like 4th grade. So that had to be about 12-ish years ago. So you do the math, 2011-ish.
Yeah. By the way, the Jaguars are having back-to-back games overseas. They're getting the Falcons.
Oh man.
Like Jaguars Bills, that's the other thing. Jaguars Bills should not be an overseas game, and Dolphins Chiefs should not be an overseas game. The overseas games are meant to be between crappy teams. Send the entire AFC South outside of the Jaguars. Send them there. Send the NFC South there. I don't care. Make the Bucks go over there. Make the Cardinals go over there. The Jaguars and Bills who could theoretically play in a playoff game. That should not be being held at Wembley Stadium or Germany, wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, I want to welcome Houday to the mic. If you want to unmute and jump in, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, I don't mind the NFL going overseas. It's cool. You get to play games in other countries. That crowd in Germany last year was incredible. You couldn't even hear the game. But
Colts Patriots is overseas. That deserves to be an overseas game.
Yeah, like that's not a good game. You got a team. The Patriots maybe they sneak in the playoffs. Colts. I know Zach, you're a Colts guy. Probably won't be in the playoffs.
We're a year or 2 away.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Anthony Richardson, the new coaching staff. We'll see if Jim Irsay is sober enough to put together a football team. Yeah, he's been known to have some drinking issues, to say the least. But yeah, they'll be better. You don't have another 7-year-old over the hill quarterback anymore. You finally have a young guy. We know what Richardson can do. He's obviously very athletic. his ceiling's very high, floor is very low, but we shall see. I think he's in a good spot there. But yeah, don't have too much else. I know Shaq Mason got extended by Houston, 3 years, $36 million. Texas trying to build something over there. They also have a young quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Zach is an Ohio State fan. You got to see him play the last couple of years. I had him as my quarterback 1. I know obviously Bryce Young goes 1, Stroud goes 2, but I had Stroud as my QB1. I think he's better than Bryce Young. But he goes 2 to Houston. Houston's, I think, will be a little better, but there's definitely probably a couple years away. And we had some head coach stuff in the NBA. Bucks interviewed, they've gotten permission to interview Adrian Griffin. He's an assistant for Toronto. They also got permission to interview Kenny Atkinson, the assistant head coach in Golden State, who I don't think should have lost his job in Brooklyn in the first place. So he actually agreed to take the job in Charlotte last year, then he backed out. I kind of don't blame him. I don't want to coach the Hornets either. But he's a candidate. I heard they might promote Charles Lee to their top assistant. But then also you're like, all right, he's been with Budenholzer since 2014. How much different would that be? I heard James Borrego's a candidate. He used to coach Charlotte, was fired last year. So Bucks trying to find the right head coach, because obviously they have the talent there. And that, they won a championship a couple of years ago. You had Giannis, Milton, Drew Holiday. So they're trying to find a new head coach. And that's the only other thing I have is that Mike Anderson, the former St. John's coach, he had sued St. John's for $46 million. What he's saying is that St. John's fired him so that they didn't have to buy him out, and they used that money to pay Rick Pitino, their new coach. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I mean, he was not a very good coach. When St. John's hired him, I was confused, partly because St. John's got a little cheap, and they didn't want to pay for the top candidates. But now you bring in Rick Pitino as I am a fan of St. John's. I don't have like a set college basketball team. Though Zach, obviously, you're a big Ohio State guy. I don't have a set team like that. But my grandfather went to St. John's, so I root for them. I tend to root for the local teams. I'm a New York guy. I go to college in Connecticut. St. John's is in Jersey, so I'm hoping Pitino can turn that program around. That program was once really good. They have been horrible for a long time. Hopefully he turns them around. That's all I got for you guys today. Zach, thank you for coming on. It was always a pleasure. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.